In just a couple of hours, this stretch of the River Thames will be teeming with over 1,000 boats of all shapes and sizes, including this one I'm on, the Abadonia. Now, she was part of the heroic flotilla that rescued troops from Dunkirk in the Second World War. And soon she'll be part of one of the largest flotillas ever seen on this river as the Diamond Jubilee pageant reaches its climax. In today's special Songs of Praise, we celebrate Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee in a place steeped in royal history, the old Royal Naval College in the newly appointed Royal Borough of Greenwich. Stand by for some splendid hymns with royal connections, including one that's never sung by the Queen herself. News of how everyone can present a lasting gift to the Jubilee celebrations, and majestic music from special guests Amore and Laura Wright. The old Royal Naval College here in Greenwich is one of London's finest architectural treasures, designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It was originally the Royal Hospital for Seamen. Today the site is open to the public and home to students from Greenwich University and Trinity Laban Conservatoire of Music and Dance. But the royal history isn't far away. For over 200 years, a royal palace stood on this site. Now, did you know that Henry VIII was born here, as were his daughters Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth I? And if you're thinking to yourself, I think I recognise all this, well, you'd be right. It's been used as a backdrop for more than 30 Hollywood blockbusters, including Pirates of the Caribbean, The King's Speech, and appropriately enough, the Queen. The real Queen has, of course, visited Greenwich many times. Most recently, Her Majesty opened the Cutty Sark after its major refit. And 75 years ago, the Princess Elizabeth accompanied her father, George VI, to open the National Maritime Museum. The chapel here is another architectural gem, crowned, as you can see, by one of Wren's twin domes. But it's also home to a thriving worshipping community, and it's where people from all over Greenwich have gathered for our hymns. Now, our first was chosen for Her Majesty's wedding to Prince Philip back in 1947. What a fine choice it is. Praise my soul, the King of Heaven. Dr. Lucy Worsley is Chief Curator of the Historic Royal Palaces and is here to help me discover more of the history that led to Greenwich being made a royal borough in this Jubilee year.
Ever since medieval times, Greenwich has been a royal place. Medieval kings and queens lived here. And it's because of the bend on the river. It's strategically important. It's part of the defences of London. And also, it's a lovely place, a pleasant place. The earliest palace here was called Bella Place, or Beautiful Place.
Greenwich has become a royal borough in this, the Diamond Jubilee year. What's it done to deserve this honour then?
Well, some people would say about time too, really, because it's always been a super royal place. We've got royal palaces here of Henry VII, Henry VIII, James I, Charles II, then it goes on being the Royal Naval College for such a long time. So it's about time too.
Back in the day, Henry VIII then, would he have used this as a retreat?
Well, Henry VIII particularly enjoyed himself at Greenwich. He had a sort of sports stadium with a tilt yard and armories and all sorts of gardens and pleasure areas. But in 1536, there's the famous incident at the Palace of Greenwich of Henry VIII's jousting accident. When he falls off his horse, he gets bumped on the head and he's unconscious for 2 hours. And there is this theory that this caused a change in his personality, that this is the point when he goes from being the promising young prince and he becomes the evil, paranoid, psychopathic tyrant. And if you look at the dates, it kind of works, because it's from 1536, it's from this point onwards that the pace of the execution of wives and of former friends really speeds up. So maybe it was the jousting accident at Greenwich that turned him into the tyrant.
Henry's actions had profound consequences for our history, not least when he broke away from the church in Rome to found the Protestant Church of England. But there's one famous title bestowed on him that's been retained by every monarch since.
The title Fide Defensor, FD, Defender of the Faith, ironically this was given to Henry VIII by the Pope. Right. Before Henry said, bye-bye, I'm founding the Church of England. But the Queen has still got it today. Have you got any coins in your pockets? Do you carry cash?
Not a lot, it's quite pitiful. What do you want?
Let's have a look here.
Right.
So here is the coinage of the realm, and here is FD. She's still Defender of the Faith.
Ah, it's there, on a 10p. Like any anniversary, the Diamond Jubilee is a chance to reflect. Who can forget the Silver Jubilee in 1977 and the Golden Jubilee just 10 years ago? And in all this time, her schedule has never slowed down. Did you know that the Queen has launched 21 ships, conferred 400,000 honours and awards, sat for an incredible 129 portraits, and sent over 500,000 telegrams to couples celebrating their diamond wedding anniversaries? She's also been to countless church services across the world. The Royal Maundy service is held every year at a different cathedral. As Lord High Almoner, Bishop Nigel MacCulloch is in attendance on the Queen during this very special day.
I think that the Queen has the ability to inspire people. I notice at the Royal Maundy service she has this wonderfully radiant smile, and people feel immediately relaxed, combined with feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed that the sovereign is there in front of them. On the day of the coronation, I was an 11-year-old boy, and I remember going to a neighbour's house. It was really exciting because they had a television, this tiny little thing. We all sat down and looked at it throughout the day. And in fact, I've still got the souvenir of the service, which is something I really rather treasure. A whole host of things in this coronation service that the Queen was given. The orb, the sceptre, the crown, of course. But one of the really important things from the point of view of Christian faith was the presenting of the Holy Bible. And the words are, I think, really important because they end with this phrase: "We present you with this book, the most valuable thing that this world affords." I think there's no doubt at all that the Queen's Christian faith is very significant. The things that she's said in Christmas broadcasts have made it very clear indeed that she has deep down a very personal trust in God, and that she does look to him for guidance in all that she does every day. This has been quite a weekend of amazing celebration, but on Tuesday we come to what I think, and I expect the Queen will see, as the climax of all that we've been praising God for. And that's when we go to St. Paul's Cathedral, and all of us in our different ways thanking God for the 60 years that the Queen has reigned over us in this country.